And welcome, dear students, to your summer course for 2020, that is Supply Chain Management, MS 491, being offered by the Department of Management Sciences here at GIKI. We are in week 2 of our online classes. So exactly the topic we'll be discussing today is logistics. All right. So at the conclusion of this topic, I do expect the students to have an idea to exactly what is logistics. What are the stages of supply chain at which the logistics are used? What are the various types of logistics, the tools, variables, and the parameters for logistics? And finally, what is a logistics strategy and how the companies really formulate a logistics strategy, right? So, today's lecture is more of something to really make you understand. So this has a lot much of video content because things have changed with the online teaching scenario. So, I do expect that you all should really be having a good idea about exactly what supply chain is and how are its aspects related. So, before I go, in my first lecture where we had discussed the importance of supply chain, I guess we lacked videos and one or two students commented about that exactly the things are not clear due to lack of videos. So I have added a lot much videos for this one so as to make sure that you understand. So as you all know that DHL is a global logistics company, which is basically a 4PL logistics company, that is a fourth party logistics provider. So DHL around the world can basically help you in procurement. Procurement means buying. DHL can help you for logistics, that is obviously your transportation of the goods. DHL can also help you for storage, right? So that is in warehousing and distribution. And similarly, DHL can help you for distribution and for warranties and claim back. So exactly, let's have a look at how DHL's international global supply chain really works.
As the world's leading logistics company, DHL
I guess we are good to start on. Sorry about that. That's an issue at my end.
provides best-in-class supply chain solutions to its customers through its DHL International Supply Chain Management Solution. Managing customer supply chains on a global scale, DHL is the perfect partner for multinational companies of all sizes. Our facilities and employees across the globe are strategically positioned to manage your logistics effectively.
DHL is a global market leader in the logistics industry. We provide innovative, customized supply chain solutions to our customers worldwide, enabled by best-in-class service coupled with leading-edge technology. We have a strong worldwide presence with more than 850 locations, including warehouses and offices in 150 countries. We have over 30,000 highly qualified employees across the world and are well positioned to meet the needs of our customers.
With a global distribution network, DHL is a market leader and a key business partner to our customers that offers global connectivity across borders and regions. At DHL, our operation excellence has set new standards in the industry. From solution design, implementation to operations, processes are orchestrated to provide the optimal end-to-end solution for our customers. With globalization, increasing supply chain complexity and the need for speed, adaptability, accuracy and timeliness, DHL operates the state-of-the-art purchase order management system, a platform capable of receiving customers' purchase order information and providing unit-level visibility and critical milestones across the end-to-end supply chain. This fully integrated system allows customers to have real-time information for all international shipments across the globe. The systemic platform is supported by a specialist trained team, providing dynamic cost and lead time optimization, performance, KPI reporting, and ongoing recommendations, proactively reacting to changes in the supply chain.
In today's highly competitive and interconnected global economy, supply chain strategies become more important than ever in our customers' ability to drive down costs and increase service to their end customer.
In 2007, Loblaw launched our private label brand Joe Fresh. It was an immediate success domestically. We recognized an opportunity internationally to launch the brand, which we shortly did after, without a supply chain to support the expanded launch into the international market. DHL was able to deliver a solution that involved consolidating goods from around the world in many ports in Hong Kong centrally and move the goods into our expanded international market.
Our customers are facing challenges with forecasting, stock planning, shipment visibility, increasing costs of product handling and transportations. At DHL, we are the experts in constantly improving cost and lead time performance to the end-to-end supply chain. Our solution reduces customers' freight spend and overall supply chain cost.
As a preferred supply chain management provider, DHL is dedicated to providing high service levels to our customers. Our quality management processes look at performance across the supply chain and optimizes opportunities for your business. The regional control towers across the world centralize data, streamlining communication and operating processes. This improved efficiency translates into our customers' competitive advantage.
DHL's strength is helping Loblaw to be more competitive by being able to have products on shelves fast, fresh, and at value prices. Their outstanding solution has reduced domestic touch points and handling, direct flow to regional distribution centers, further complemented by direct to stores right from Asia.
Logistics is about service and people. With more than 850 locations to manage, we connect through one global team across Asia Pacific, Europe, and the Americas. Managing vast differences in culture and infrastructure across countries and regions, we constantly uphold a high standard in our approach and delivery for international supply chain management services, providing best-in-class industry solutions to our customers.
At DHL, we provide our customers with a single contact window, providing global expertise.
We have hub facilities in key geographies such as Shanghai, Yantian, Hong Kong, and Singapore, Malaysia, which serve as distribution points for our customers regionally, interregionally, or globally. At DHL, we are committed to a high global standard under one worldwide banner. Exceptional performance, seamless operations, end-to-end service, and value delivery.
DHL built in sustainable growth for us and our customers.
Logistics as our core, we focus on committing to the needs of our stakeholders and our planet, a family of divisions to achieve industry-leading margins. We connect as one global team in operations, commercials, green solutions, and shared services to achieve quality leadership and service excellence. We accelerate our footprint and shift towards emerging markets, tap new market opportunities for organic expansion to achieve sustainable above-market growth.
To deliver value to our customers' supply chains through lowering cost and maximizing sales.
We can focus our energy not only on winning new business, but also on driving enhanced value to our existing customers.
To grow together with our customers and make them stay competitive.
Providing our customers with the ability to consolidate from multiple sourcing and manufacturing locations and distribute to across sales markets.
Adaptation or flexibility to adapt to the new market needs.
To implement this customer's complex requirements within an extremely tight timeline.
Well, the reason I had basically started the video was basically so that you may also get to know the roles that are being performed across worldwide in supply chain. So basically, with this, because the reason putting DHL is because DHL, the logistics ability for DHL is its core competency, and that's the reason I have added DHL to today's topic, that is logistics. So let's move further.
Objective is to control our global operating costs.
Exactly, the definition of logistics by Jonathan Weeks is the management of material out of the ground and back into it, right? So this exactly opens, this is more of a layman definition, right? But this exactly opens a much big window, which basically is incorporated by logistics, right? So the management of materials out of the ground, right? Right. So, well, you have extracted something out of the ground, that might be bauxite, that might be crude oil, that might be anything. And the next part is obviously you need to refine that, right? So for that purpose, logistics is something that really helps you. That is transportation. Obviously, you need to transport that to some particular place, right? You might transport that using pipelines. You might transport that using a vehicle fleet. Vehicle fleet is like having a group of various trucks and truckloads. You might transport that on some other medium, through air, through sea shipment, through rail as well, right? Because mostly the coal that is basically extracted from the ground is transported through rail around the world. So first part is that basically you provide logistics for whatever you have extracted from the ground, something that has physical space, that is your inventory, that is counted further as inventory, and finally and back into the ground. So this is relating or telling us something new about logistics that we call as sustainable logistics or green logistics, right? So exactly getting back into the ground means that exactly making sure that once the product's life cycle comes to end, right? So exactly because you are engineers, I need to make sure that you're clear about each and every concept. So product life cycle is basically we have 5 stages for a typical product life cycle, right? I guess it would be much better if I switch on to a graph from the internet so that you may have quick access to this. Right. So product life cycle and this will make things much easier for you to understand. So the exact aim is to basically make sure that you understand each other. So this is a typical product life cycle for any sort of product, right? Hope I can enlarge this. Okay. Yes, there you go. So exactly, people. We say that the product life cycle has 5 key stages. The first one being product development, right? In the product development stage, you are basically trying to develop your product, right? This is the R&D time. This is the time where you are making prototypes and stuff like that. So that is basically really helping you out. Right. So product development life cycle has basically 5 stages. The first one is the product development life cycle stage, where you are basically working on the R&D. That is your research and development. You are concerned about your research and development, and you are making a product. So you don't have any profits, but you have negative profits, and your sales obviously don't increase by this point. They increase somewhere once you introduce the product, right? So this is more of a vague problem. The next stage is the introduction. Once you launch your product in the market, right? The next stage is that the product grows in the market and you have increased sales, right? Then the product reaches its maturity, right? There is a stage of maturity where the product is basically receiving the maximum profits that it can make, and finally product has a decline stage. So with the decline stage, we say that the product is basically coming to an end of life cycle, right? Once the product is basically, is supposedly, if you look into semiconductors, you look into electronic components, a few of them are recycled and a lot many are basically disposed of into the ground, right? So in that case as well, for the end of life cycle or the end of product life cycle, we say that logistics basically helps you to take that thing back to the ground, right? So that is more towards sustainable logistics, to how to exactly improve sustainable logistics or green logistics. So basically, you are also taking care of or the responsibility of disposing of your product securely back to the ground so that it does not create any sort of environmental issues, right? Because if you just dump that any radioactive material without following the proper recipes, then obviously it affects the company's brand image. As you might have heard that companies like Halliburton in US had such issues where they basically disposed of the radioactive material that was of low intensity in the open ground, and they had to face a lot much uh, fee from the environmental agencies. Further expanding our definition, we say that the planning, execution, and control of the movement of people, goods, and related support in order to achieve an objective. So basically, this says that logistics is not just about products, this is about people as well, and whatever the relevant supported stuff is associated with that. So whatever sort of mode is transferred or transported, either it is people, either it is material, logistics is a part of that. And logistics not only includes basically your execution or transportation, it also includes the planning. Obviously you need to plan effectively, and obviously the control of movement as well. So these are some of the key points that are really required or important factors for your logistics. So the next part is that exactly there are key four objectives of logistics or four rights of logistics, right? So exactly if a company says that they want to be successful in the logistics, right, they really need to focus on these four KPIs. The first one is right place. So right place is that supposedly you had a destination place that you had to deliver something in Gilgit, and you deliver it on the right place at the right home. So in that case, you have delivered it on the right place, and this obviously improves your KPI or the key performance indicator. The next is to ship or provide the right product. So companies like Amazon, where there are thousands of orders each and every day, there is a high chance of human error, right? So in order to reduce that human error, companies are basically using automated systems as well. But nonetheless, for logistics, it is mandatory that you ship the right product, right? So whatever the customer requires, that is, and whatever the quantity he or she requires, you ship that within the right quantity. The next one is to ship within the right cost, right? So if you are a global company of supply chain, you have a global footprint, you are working across the globe, you have lot many locations around the globe. So exactly you need to make sure that the cost you are offering to your customers is somewhere market competitive, right? So you need to have the right cost. Exactly, you can't exceed your costs, and obviously you can't simply get into losses as well by offering very low cost. You really need to make sure that the company is also earning profits, right? Because that is the key aim of every business. And finally, the right time. So supposedly you commit 2 days delivery time to your customer and you deliver within 2 days. That means this KPI is basically box or tick mark, and you have achieved your time efficiency as well. Uh, lot many companies basically in Pakistan commit somewhere around 3 days, but you know that the deliveries come around like within 7 days. So in this case, that means that the logistics provider is basically not following the right KPIs, right? So exactly, let's look into another video where we will get to know KPMG is one of the management consulting firms in UK and around the globe as well. In Pakistan, it's more towards accounting services, but internationally they do have a lot much business services. So let's look about their perspective on transportation and logistics.
The transport and logistics industry is always on the move, and now it's in the process of forging a new path: connectivity. But how are businesses dealing with this? And where is this path leading to? Our experts have been looking at these questions for many years now. They know that the logistics of A to B are fully changing. Considerably more people and goods will have to be transported in the future. Bigger airports and mega freighters are the logical consequence. However, additional capacity alone will not be enough to cover the rising demand. For companies, the answer lies in better utilization. The various means of transport must be linked and synchronized with one another to be better connected. Only in this way is it possible for a passenger to leave an airplane and, directly using live data, select the most suitable mode of transport for getting into the city. Analyzing passenger numbers and travel patterns in public transport enables us to reliably predict rush hour traffic. Additional parameters such as weather data help us to identify potential disruptions early on. The same is true for transporting goods. Using the right data allows us to predict bottlenecks and plan capacities. And this is only the beginning. Vehicles and goods that communicate with each other. Drones that deliver packages to hard-to-reach locations. Or spare parts that don't even need to be shipped because they can be produced on site with a 3D printer. In other words, the transport and logistics industry will undergo a fundamental change. The industry has numerous opportunities, challenges, and questions. And the biggest one of all, how can you deal with them? Let us shape the future together, reliably, affordably, and with quality and efficiency. KPMG.
So that was KPMG's perspective, exactly how the logistics industry is basically expected to change the overall previous working environment, and how the things will be really molded in the upcoming times. So exactly, let's look into the importance of logistics. Well, first bit is that the companies obviously have to spend a lot much on their logistics, so they are really concerned about reducing their logistics cost, right? Then we can say that the last mile delivery, the companies offering home to home delivery, right? And the last mile delivery is something that we say that is from the distribution center to the customer, consumes roughly 55% of the logistics cost. So exactly, the companies really need to make sure that they are offering the logistics in the right cost. So that is one of the reasons. The other reason is that I told you about competitive advantage, that a lot many companies basically achieve competitive advantage through basically giving efficient response time, right? And we say something as order qualifier and order winners, right? So exactly what's order qualifier and order winner? Order qualifier is something that is more like of a basic requirement for everything. So supposedly you buy a car, and the order qualifier is someone, for some customer to buy a car, the order qualifier is basically the car should be able to move from point A to B, right? Order winning can be something that really basically gives you an advantage over your competitors. So we say that Meran is a car that completes all the requirements for being an order qualifier. But we say that Honda Civic, having airbags, having more of luxury oriented driving, having a good air conditioning system, having good seating system, something that is giving really much more advantage over than its competitor. Obviously, we are not comparing the price here. So exactly, this is more of an order winning features that we have added to Honda Civic, right? So exactly, companies really want to win the orders, right? Companies really want to have or achieve more competitive advantage than their competitors, right? So they need to have an efficient logistics system, right? The next one is time-based competition strategy. Obviously, you should basically be aiming to reduce your overall logistics time, right? And here we basically, in technical terms, we deal this thing with the P2D ratio, that is production to distribution ratio, right? So for a few items, we say that our production ratio is low and a few it is high. So exactly we will look this once we are looking in the topic of manufacturing, right? We will look the B2D ratios in more details. So exactly, and the last point that why logistics is important, that it has a great impact on the entire product development life cycle, or PLC, that is your product life cycle. That's one of the same thing. So exactly what is happening, that if you are a computer science graduate or a student as well, you know that on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, if you see a good application or a good game, that is there for roughly how many days? A month. It stays on the top trending charts for a month or 2 months, that's it, and vanishes away within the third month, right? And some new games and new applications replace that particular object, right? That means that the product life cycle has really decreased quite a lot much. That means that all the five stages that we discussed here have really need to be performed within a time span of 3 months, right? So in that you really need to make sure that whatever you are developing is basically delivered to the market on the right time, right? So with all these things, these four aspects, one is your cost, the other is your timing, basically the third one is your competitive advantage, and the fourth one being effect on PLC or PDLC. So these really increase the importance of planning and really looking for logistics in a supply chain. So let's exactly look what are different types of logistics in a traditional logistics. And on one axis, it starts from your supplier or the vendor. What happens? The company purchases goods from the suppliers, and the goods are basically then shipped from the supplier to the company stores or the warehouses, right? So this entire phase where your goods are shipped, you purchase things and you ask your supplier to send you things. This is your inbound logistics, right? So that's something that is basically coming to, right? Then you have in-house logistics. So any manufacturing company, supposedly it is Toyota or Honda, they have a warehouse for storing your inventory. So why the companies do store inventory, right? On one hand, we say that the companies are following just in time, but on the other hand, we say that the companies are basically storing inventory as well. So inventory basically acts as a buffer, right? Inventory is more of safety stock. Inventory is more of a safety to make sure that your assembly lines are kept running, right? And obviously, you need to have a certain quantity and a stock of inventory to really make sure that your production line as things are really working, right? So the things get into your warehouse, and from the warehouse they are basically transported on the shop floor. So the shop floor is a place where you basically manufacture your goods, right? So transporting from the warehouse to the shop floor, you need some in-house logistics, right? So in-house logistics is more like having forklifts, more of new warehouse technologies, right? Material management, material control. So all these things are basically a part of your in-house logistics, right? Then we have the outbound logistics, that once your product is produced, right? So at this stage, you had received what? Raw material. At this stage, you had basically done what? So once it was in stores, it was still a raw material, right? And once it was in the phase of production, right? So supposedly you say that you are basically assembling Toyota Corolla car, and the car has not been assembled, and roughly we estimate just a vague estimation that one Corolla car, this is not the case, but just to give an example, takes 1 day for manufacturing, right? So during that 1 day, that car will be counted as a work in progress inventory, or we call that often as WIP as well, right? And once the car has been basically assembled on the next day and it is complete, ready to go to the customer, it becomes a finished inventory, right? So once you have the finished inventory, you send that to the warehouse, and from the warehouse, it goes to your distributors and finally goes to your customer, right? So this is your outbound logistics, that once you have made your product, you really need to send that product to your final customer. So this all is basically under the banner of outbound logistics. And uh, what I was telling you about the last mile delivery is basically that starting from the supplier to the distributor, the companies say that their overall logistics cost takes around 45%, right? Supposedly, I say that my customer, this customer here, will be receiving his order for a total transportation cost or courier charges for 100 rupees, right? So for that 100, I say that 45 rupees were used from basically transporting the material from supplier to distributor, right? And the remaining 55 was basically during this phase where I had to take my order from the distributor to the final customer. So this is the phase where we are basically talking about the last mile delivery, and this basically takes a lot much amount of your revenue for or percentage of your logistics cost, right? So exactly, the companies are more inclined at basically improving this stage, because what's happening at this phase, either you like it or not, you purchase in bulk, right? You have a lot much quantity, so the overall cost is basically divided. But what is happening, supposedly, this is a distributor somewhere in Islamabad, and you have a customer somewhere, well, uh, up in the north, we say there is a customer in Topi or GIK, and the distributor is basically based in Islamabad. So he needs to travel all the way from Islamabad to the Topi GIK to deliver the order to the customer, right? So exactly, yeah, this is just an example. This is something that really contributes a lot much percentage of your logistic cost, right? Changing trends we'll be discussing in the next slides. Exactly, let's look what logistics really looks at DHL, right? The first one was exactly about supply chain. Now, exactly, let's look at what modes and how DHL works on its logistics.
DHL is a lead logistics partner to brands worldwide. Our operations are supported by a comprehensive suite of industry-leading IT systems that enable us to deliver an integrated end-to-end service. The global LLP transport management solution is supported by a team of experts who work with customers across multiple industry sectors to optimize their supply chains. Our web-based solution interfaces with multiple customers and independent carrier systems, delivering automation and digitalization across the supply chain. It supports all modes of transport and logistics operating models. Here's how it works. Our systems have the ability to integrate with any customer solution electronically in order to receive your transport orders. We also have a customer web portal, providing flexibility when needed. Once received, orders are optimized and loads consolidated to create shipments. With the best mode of transport and carrier identified based upon lead time, capability, and cost. Once the best option is identified, an automated booking is sent to the chosen carrier, who is part of an extensive independent global network. Throughout a shipment's journey, Track and Trace enables visibility of its progress, with milestone updates accessible to the customer either via a web-based visibility portal, email, or EDI alerts. And once delivered, DHL's Control Tower team manages the transport invoice and checks the costs are correct before organizing payment. The system provides business intelligence reporting, which the LLP operation uses to produce meaningful KPIs and analytics, tailored to individual customer requirements, which enable ongoing continuous improvement. DHL IT data centers are ISO 27001 accredited, which is the international standard for information security management, meaning your data is safe and secure. Our solutions are also disaster resilient, ensuring the system is always available. Plus, our team of specialist IT experts are constantly enhancing and updating the system to ensure it meets today's and tomorrow's needs. The flexible and scalable solution supports an end-to-end LLP operation that delivers improved global visibility and control and enables loads to be optimized, lowering transport costs, ensuring shorter lead times, and improving customer service. So, let's work together and drive your competitive edge. Ensuring shorter lead.
All right. With this, students, we come to a new term, that is lead time, right? So exactly what lead time is, that once a company receives the order, and how quickly do they send the order or the delivery to the final customer, right? So supposedly I say that I'm working at Dell, and Dell receives an order right now today, and Dell has basically said to its customers that they'll be delivering them within 2 or 3 days. So supposedly I say that today at 12 in the midnight I've received an order, and I delivered that. I'm basically able to assemble a laptop as per the user requirements and deliver that within roughly 72 hours. So my lead time basically starts in this entire phase of 72 hours. Roughly they normally deliver in less than that, right? That is 48 hours as well, but obviously you need to tell the users, keeping in consideration all sort of ifs and buts, because there is a high chance you might have issues with your transportation, you might have issues with your logistics, there might be lack of flow of inventory over your shop floor, right? So exactly this is the lead time, the time where you receive an order and to the time you deliver that order. This all comes under the lead time. And with this thing, the people from the CS or the CE background would have been much clearer exactly what are their roles perfectly in making software applications for logistics and supply chains. And you would also have come to know that how planning and optimization in terms of capacity management, in terms of route planning, in terms of the shortest lead time, this is something that is done through idle platforms, right, with companies like DHL, but mostly this is something that is done manually in countries like Pakistan. And obviously you need to have the visibility, right, or the transparency. You need to make sure where your orders are, and finally you need to make sure that the entire thing was done in the right way, and you receive the payments, right?
Times.
Let's further look into the logistics of DHL, because I told you that the key aim for this lecture is to make sure that you really understand what logistics is, what supply chain is, right? Because this is not a traditional class, this is an online class, right? So I need to make sure that there is a bundle of relevant videos. Make sure that you go through the videos, just don't skip all the videos, because this is quite important for your coursework, right? So just make sure that everything's running. There you go. So short videos, just have a look into them.
The growth in global manufacturing and trading continues to make supply chains increasingly complicated, usually involving multiple parties, each acting as suppliers and customers to others in the chain, but all interconnected with the same goal to provide excellent service to the end customer. Aligning them can be challenging, particularly when you take into account different systems, duplicated data, errors in manual entries, and very often, unstructured and untraceable communications. When you don't know where your materials are, due to the lack of real-time visibility, then inevitably your supply chain becomes reactive rather than proactive. But now, even the most complex global supply chains can be managed in one collaborative platform, giving end-to-end visibility with 100% live and up-to-date information. At DHL Service Logistics, we're continually working to design innovative solutions that make a difference to your business, and believe our next-generation technology for collaborative same-day transport management will do just that. The same-day visibility tracker platform connects all parties into one system, with shared information based on user permissions, so you can follow the entire process from order creation through to final delivery. Our courier app will enable shipments to be real-time GPS tracked, whilst the customer or engineer app gives proactive alerts, showing precise shipment positioning and integrated communications between all parties. So from now on, the exact time of arrival and proof of delivery with an electronic signature will be available to you and even to your own customers in real time. And by automating the handover steps, meaning no manual data entries, our same-day visibility tracker makes shipment tracking accurate and genuinely time-saving. So how does it work? Imagine an engineer is on site and needs a part to fulfill your service level requirement. He can channel his order through your call center, place an order online, or trigger an EDI order. At the supplier's warehouse, an operator logs onto the same-day visibility tracker and sees an alert for each new incoming order. As the shipment is being prepared, still using the same-day visibility tracker, the operative can instantly book a courier, with the system selecting the most appropriate one for the task. The chosen courier receives an alert for the pickup and accepts the order. The route, distance and delivery time is automatically calculated, taking into consideration live traffic levels based on an industry-standard routing tool. From the moment the courier accepts the trip, an alert is generated, so all users have the estimated delivery time and the deadline. Once the courier has collected the shipment, same-day visibility tracker monitors progress and triggers alerts in case of any new traffic delays and changes to the delivery. Plus, it updates our central database to ensure shipment details are always correct without the need for any manual intervention. As the route is being created, the geo-fence zone is assigned to the delivery location. So when the courier enters that area, an alert notifies the engineer of the imminent arrival. Using the app on his smartphone, the courier hands over the shipment, obtains an electronic signature, and if relevant, takes pictures, which are all automatically linked to the order. A proof of delivery is immediately generated with a timestamp and sent via an automated alert to all users. The shipment is then closed and billing generated. Throughout the order, the engineer, courier, warehouse operative, and all managerial system users can communicate directly using live and logged chat. So by using smart integrated technology, the same-day visibility tracker delivers full control and visibility over your business practices, helping to improve planning, increase profitability, and bring all contributors.
That was exactly more about the logistics that is being offered in the developed countries around the world. All right, very well. I guess just wait for a few seconds. It might get sorted. If not, I have to make another video for this. Nothing to worry about. We'll just make another video. Continue.